Okay, so hey everybody, y'all already know it's me, Rachel, story time girl. And I know this setting is a little different, but let me tell y'all something. I am so ready to do what I came on here to do. So everybody keeps asking me about my upbringing and my parents and my mom and my dad. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Growing up, I was not the favorite pick out of the kids. I never have been, and I don't think I ever will be. So, growing up, my mom and dad would cancel me out of a lot of things. And I just didn't understand why growing up, especially my father, why he was so adamant on making sure that I really wasn't included in a lot of things. So, growing up, my dad was a very stern man, and I always said that I was his purchase no punching bag, because the discipline he would give me was way different than my sister, and the way he would talk to me or ignore me most of the time was way different than my sister.
Hello everyone, my name is Shaneria. This is Talking Crime. On this channel, if you like drama, if you like tea, heck, if you just like to hear someone else's story, this is the channel for you. So come over here, hit that subscribe button, hype me up, join the family, comment down below your opinion of the video. And if you're returning, you already know how we like to do it. Let's get started on today's reaction video.
So this one particular day, I came home one day from school, and my dad came home from work per usual, and he had a closet in the middle of the hallway where he kept all of his work clothes. And when he opened up this closet and he grabbed his belt, or he grabbed his disciplinary thing or whatever, I don't know what words I can use, you know, we on TikTok. He would pull out his disciplinary thing, and he would, get some straightening going on. So this particular day I came home and I ain't do nothing that day. I remember like it was yesterday. I didn't do anything that day, and I remember crying and begging him not to whoop me. I said, "Daddy, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me." I said, "I've been good today." He said, "Nah, Rachel, you been bad. I just don't know nothing about it yet. It's gonna come out." And he took me in a room and he proceeded to whoop me. And I remember screaming and hollering on the top of my lungs, y'all, asking him to please stop. Because the beating wasn't normal. It wasn't like his normal, disciplinary act that he normally does with me. He started hitting me real hard. He started going real, like crazy. It's kind of like he blacked out or something. And all I could remember is I remember trying to run from him underneath the bed. And I blacked out. I remember crying and hollering for him to please stop. And I blacked out. Now, only years later, when I was a teenager, did my father come out and confess to me about my mother's infidelities with him when I was younger. So I didn't have a full circle moment to him whooping on me or hitting on me and stuff until I got grown. But this particular day, my father decided to tell me why he had stopped. He asked me one day, he said, "Rachel, do you remember the day I stopped whooping you?" He said, "Rachel, do you remember the day I stopped whooping you?" And I lied to him and told him to his face no. But the look he had in his eyes was so detrimental. Like you could tell it was like he seen a ghost or something. It was like he was so scared to know if I remembered what he had done to me, that was the day he vowed to never put his hands on me ever again. For majority of my life, I've had dip and bump in the back of my head where my skull is at. And I've never seen it. And I told myself, before I tell this story, I wanted to show everybody, including myself, what it looks like. Because all my life I could feel it. And I know it's back there. But I've never seen it. So I'm deciding right now to not only, because after I had blacked out, there was a lot that went on to me after that. And my parents obviously tried to cover it up the best that they could. But what ended up happening is the damage that it left me, mentally, spiritually, physically. I just never went to a doctor. I never got it checked. I never went and got it seen. Nobody ever took me anywhere to double check just to make sure that I was okay. So y'all, this is my honest and true first time ever seeing the back of my head. And and I'm about to do it right now. Okay, you guys, let's see. Whew, hard to see now. Okay, there it is. Y'all see it?
See?
That's the dip there. I probably could cut a little bit more here. But if you run your fingers like this, it goes down and it goes back up like that. It's a nice dip, y'all. Y'all can see it from the side. And y'all can see it from this side. So yeah, I'm not too shocked. And I've been mentally preparing myself for this day. I just never knew it looked like. So yeah, I never knew it looked like that, y'all. I never knew. But there is definitely a story that goes with this, and I'm ready to share. Because like I said, I didn't want to get my parents in trouble when I was younger, and I didn't want my parents to go to jail. But you can only imagine as a child, because this is my head now. Hold on, let me see y'all in the camera, sorry. There we go. This is my head now as an adult. You can only imagine how big this was in my head as a child. Because it was around 3rd, 4th grade when my dad did this to me. It's about 3rd, 4th grade, y'all. So, if you want to hear the story time on how I survived this, like for the next part.
It is so traumatizing, but your parents supposed to love, protect you, and shelter you. Imagine you being a child this age, and it's totally the opposite. You trying to protect them and shelter them so they won't get in trouble for something that they have done to you. And I'm not going to say they, I'm going to say her dad, but her mother didn't protect her, didn't cherish her, and really didn't love her. Because why would you even allow this to happen? For somebody to come in and beat a child, and the child haven't did anything that day, but you trying to beat them just in case they do something, is crazy. It's not a secret that he envied that mother and took it out on that little girl. Like, that is crazy work. But let's continue.
All right, so now y'all done seen the video about, say hey, Loyalty. Say hi. Okay, so y'all done see the video, the preview of the cracked skull in the back of my head. So let's go ahead, let's get into the storyline. All right, so growing up, I always noticed my dad was very distant with me. I remember always running behind him, begging him for his attention, always asking him to take me places with him. I mean, a lot of times he would say no. And I remember this one particular time my mom stood up for me. She was like, well, yeah, she kind of stood up for me. She was like, Robert, stop treating that girl like that. That girl, she, you know, she want to go with you. She older now, like da 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 da. And I remember he looked at me and he smacked his lips. You know, like an older sibling doesn't want to take their little sibling with them, and they be like, man, come on, hurry up. Like, it was that kind of energy. And he let me go with him, and I was super duper excited because he always took my sister with him places, always, and he always left me at home with my mom. So growing up, I always wondered why my dad never really connected with me on too much of anything. Like, he didn't really talk to me a lot. He didn't really show me a lot of things. If he wasn't disciplining me or yelling at me or telling me, Rachel, get on my face, go sit down, Rachel, go find something else to do, that's what I was used to. So you gotta understand, mentally in my mind growing up, I thought this was normal. I thought every father treated their daughter like this, and I thought every man supposed to treat me like this, because that's what I was used to. And no shade, due to the fact that my dad was a lead gang member, a lot of the men around in his circles weren't allowed to talk to us either. So if we ever was at a party or gatherings or barbecues, and you know, and then it's an old school saying, you know, children stay out of grown people's face. It was all part of the same thing. But from my perspective and my point of view, it really messed me up growing up having the wrong mentality of how men and people supposed to treat me, period. I have gotten used to people ignoring me or overlooking me, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm not taking that kind of behavior no more. I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? And if you're on that type of time, I know exactly how to hit the exit door in 2 seconds. It doesn't bother me. I have grown tough skin because of all the abuse I've been through my whole entire life. Okay, most of my life I have been through some kind of abuse, hence all the damn story times. So back to what I'm talking about with my dad. So I remember this one day, like I said, my dad had came home from work and he went ahead and disciplined me, and I remember blacking out, right? So boom, when I had blacked out, all I could remember was, and this is crazy because all this stuff, it's like it replays in my mind like it was yesterday. I remember being like in a dark room. Like, y'all ever been in a hallway of a school, like a echoing hallway where like the tile floors, you can feel the walls, like everything is like tile, you can hear the echo of your steps. It's a room. It was like a room like that, but it was all pitch black. My eyes weren't closed because I could feel myself opening and closing my eyes, moving and stuff. But I didn't want to talk, and there was no one in there with me. It was like I was just in a dark room by myself. I remember that part. And then the next thing I remember, I came to. And when I came to, I remember waking up and it was real foggy and blurry in my vision. And I remember, because where my bed sat, it was a bunk bed, and I would sleep at the bottom. The bottom bunk was my sister. I was on the top. After my dad had whooped me and did his damage to me that day, I remember laying on her bed and my mom going down the hallway. And I remember like the sun beaming through my window and I could see down the hallway. I saw my mom, and then I went out black again. I remember waking up a second time. It was foggy. I was in my room. I remember looking around, and then boom, I went out again. I don't remember too much after that, other than when it was time for me to go to school. I remember when I had went to school, I had got up and my mom basically was helping me put on my clothes, and she gasped. I remember her gasping at the bruising all over my body. She didn't really ask too many questions to me. She just kind of was like, hurry up, Rachel, we gotta get going, we about to be late, put your clothes on, let's go. So I remember getting in the car. I remember trying to sit up and I couldn't sit up. I remember that. And I remember when my mama took us to the school, she purposely waited until after morning announcements, because in this school, I went to Raymond Avenue Elementary School in South Central California. Okay, every morning they had morning announcements where we all chanted the Champions Creed. After this, all the students, staff, and everybody else goes into the school, and there's nobody on the courtyard, there's nobody walking around. My mom waited until that time to drop me and my sister off, because I remember when we got there, there was no kids outside, there was no staff anywhere, there was nobody. It was just me and my sister. That's how I knew we were late. Like, for the next part.
So is it like she don't even remember what happened because she blanked out? And why would you take her to school and not to the doctor, even if you wasn't there when it happened? Like, once you seen how badly bruised she was, why you didn't take her to the doctor?
All right, so now that I done walked into the school, and those that don't know what's going on, we on part 3 to how my dad cracked the back of my skull and all that fun stuff like that. So we in the story time. So yeah, so basically I walked into the school, and when I walk into the school, I remember, like, my sister, she took off in front of me. She's one of them type, like, when she around her friends and people like that, she wasn't studying me. She didn't care nothing about, I was staggering, I was all over the place. Like, neither her, my mom, and obviously my dad, nobody stopped to care to ask, was I okay? So long story short, I'm going through the hallway, y'all, and for the life of me, I could not remember where my classroom was at. Give me a second, child. I couldn't remember where my classroom was at. And it scared me so bad. Because I kept going up and down the hallways wondering where the hell I was at. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember for the life of me where my classroom was at. So all I remember was, I remember my kindergarten teacher. Y'all, excuse me, give me a second, hold on. I said I wasn't gonna cry on this part, but I knew I was, because this part right here was the hardest. It's the hardest part for me, because I can replay it all the time in my head, but I never talked about it out loud. So I remember my kindergarten teacher. I knew where her classroom was at, and I remember leaning my head on the side of the hallway of the wall, just trying to walk down to her classroom, because I couldn't remember nothing. And I remember begging God right then and there. Now, I didn't know a lot about God. I didn't know a lot about praying. I didn't know a lot about church. But I knew enough to know that when I cried out for help, that somebody must have heard me in the spirit or something, because I remember asking God then to please just help me. So I got to her classroom, y'all, and I banged on the door, and I remember her yelling through the door, "Who is it? Who is it?" And she had a teacher's assistant in the classroom. And the teacher assistant opened the door. It was like, "Who is it?" And all I remember was falling face forward into the classroom. And that lady screamed so loud. She screamed so loud. And I remember hearing her. Be quiet, Lord. Hold on. I remember her saying, before I blacked out, I remember her saying, "Lord, somebody help this baby. Look all the bruises on her back." Hold on, wait, y'all. Okay, so all I could remember is after that, obviously they carried me. Somebody came, picked me up off her floor, and they carried me to the front office. And they took me to the nurse's room, the nurse's office. And I remember laying down, and I just could hear all the staff, all the people. I'm sorry, I gotta step outside, because my baby, he keep talking behind me, and I can't concentrate with him talking like that. Because he just a baby, he don't understand what I'm doing right now. So I remember somebody came, picked me up, took me into the nurse's office.
And it was so weird because that day we had a assistant principal. She was a light-skinned lady. I can't remember her name for nothing, y'all. But she was light-skinned, tall, skinny. She wore glasses. Her hair is about this length. The length of this bob, maybe a little longer. And she came back to the school this specific day for some kind of important paperwork, because she wasn't supposed to be there. She had resigned already. I remember this, y'all, because I remember when this lady resigned, it's like half of the student body and the whole structure of the school kind of, it's like our spirits went down, because it's like our rock that was our assistant principal, she wasn't there anymore. So but this day she was there, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. All I heard was, bitch, I don't give a fuck who you think you is. This baby in there damn near on her deathbed. She finna die, bitch. We calling the people on you right fucking now. I heard that lady cuss my mama clean the fuck out. And all I remember was, you know how when you get in trouble and your mama call your name and it make you jump. Man, my mama called my name through them hallways. She was like, Rachel! She did all that. And all I can remember, y'all, is I jumped up. Because I was in and out of passing out. All I remember was I jumped up. I opened up the door. I said, Mama, here I am. She snatched me by my shirt like this. She threw me in the car. We drove off. And then she went ahead and took me home. Light for the next part.
No. Like, why wasn't police called? You see all them bruises on that child and stuff. Why was the mama called and not the police too? Like, I'm confused. But back in the day, like, it's a lot of questions that a lot of us want answers to, because some stuff that happened back in the day definitely can't happen now. Like, you not gonna go to school with a lot of bruises and your mama gonna just pick you up, put you in the car like it's a regular sick day. Like, they on it now. So back in the day, like, it was a lot of people getting away with abuse and kids going to school with these bruises and stuff, because it was a whole different ball game. Now, they might catch some people, but 9 times out of 10, others, it will go past their eyes, like their eyes was closed and they never seen it.
All right, so now we're on part 4. So so she drove me home. She took me home, and she told me just go in my room, go lay down, go to bed. And I remember I went and I laid down, and I could remember just sleeping a lot. They let me just sleep. It was just weird because my dream state and my body, how I felt, it was like unnatural. Like, it was like, hold on, let me wipe my camera off, y'all. I think that's a little bit better, but it was crazy because I had a lot of dreams with a lot of light in it, and I felt warm, and I felt like, I wouldn't say at peace, but it was just flashes. I came back through, and I remember I peed on myself. And I think my mom or somebody, they saw me, I was up because I was trying to, because I had wet myself, and they picked me up. They came, they got me, they picked me up, and they helped me. My mama changed the sheets or whatever. I couldn't remember like being there or being in the house or my room half the time. I just remember dreaming a lot from this time frame that I'm telling y'all about. Like, I just remember dreaming a lot. And they were just nice dreams. Like, I don't know how to explain it, y'all. And I could remember like you ever had that feeling where you almost getting ready to faint, and you feel like you're breathing going in and out, and you're getting ready to faint and stuff like that, and then you might have like black flashes in front of your eyes. Like, I would feel that anytime I tried to get up out of the bed, out of the sleep. I noticed I would feel like that. So anytime I felt that, I didn't fight it. I went back and laid down. I just went back to sleep, and I slept for a long time. And then one day I remember waking up. I walked down the hallway. I came through the hallway door, because my parents, they used to keep a sheet up there sometimes or shit like that, you know, if they watching inappropriate stuff on TV or they trying to have grown people time, you know, smoking, drinking, doing them, they'll have the sheet thing up. So they had it up for whatever reason, I don't know. And I just remember going out there and everybody damn near like it's like they seen a ghost. I mean, it was yesterday. They treated me like I was a ghost or something. Like, I really think I think I was dead. And I think they were figuring out what to do with me. You know what I'm saying? To try to cover it up. Like, that's what I truly believe. Because other than sleeping all the time, if they was coming there checking on me and stuff like that, I don't know. I don't remember being escorted to the restroom. None of that shit. That's what I'm saying. So when my body reacted and peed, I think that was a sign to my mama that I probably got a good chance to survive, cause now my organs are functioning again. Cause I'm pissing again. Cause I don't know how many days they let me lay there like that. I don't know. All I know is I woke up out that room. I came up out that bed though, and I was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, looking at everybody in their face like, "What's up?" Like ain't nothing happened to me. Like how I am like this right now, that's how I came up out that bed. It was creepy, but I came up out of there. So yeah, so y'all like for the next part, because I'm outside walking around with my son and I gotta pay attention. So y'all like for the next part, okay?
Now I could definitely believe her on this part, cause like, why y'all not taking me to the hospital? Why? I'm confused. Like, I'm sleeping the whole time. I done peed on myself. These are signs that something is seriously wrong. Why y'all didn't take me to the hospital? Why the school didn't call defects? It's so many unanswered questions, and unfortunately this man was saved. You was willing to cover up something that was so tremendous that happened to a child you gave birth to, for a man that had no care in the world about this little girl. Like, he didn't give two fucks at all. And obviously you didn't either, because you was willing to plan on covering it up if she don't survive. I believe her. I believe that they all was like shocked, because they probably was planning on doing something if they go in there and she's no longer fucking breathing and she's gone. Like, what else they was gonna do? If they didn't take her to the hospital, what could they possibly tell police and stuff if she was to pass? Yeah, they definitely was planning on, if something happened, we gonna have to cover it up. Cause mama would have went to jail and daddy would have went to jail. Mama would have went to jail for not reporting it, not taking her to get help, not doing anything about the situation. And the school got proof that the mother knew, and the mother came to pick her up from school. So, girl, I'm with you on that. They definitely was trying to figure out how to cover it up if you no longer survive this situation.
Okay, part 5. So now we are in the part where I done jumped up, I came down the hallway, everybody looking at me, treat me like a ghost. So yeah, it started out really weird, y'all. Like, okay, I got up and I asked to watch cartoons. I wanted to watch The Simpsons, and I was ready to eat. Like, ain't nothing wrong, And everybody was just looking at me weird in my face, like, like, are you okay, Rachel? Hey, Rachel, hey. Things like that. So after a couple more days, I noticed that they still let me stay home, like a couple more days after that. And then I realized that the day I had to get up and get ready to go to school, my mama pulled into a different school. And I was trying to figure out what was going on. So basically, like, they switched my schools. So I was in a school in South Central. Now I go to a school literally right up the street from my house. So I'm in Carson. My elementary school is right there in Compton. Right there, it's like right when you get off the freeway, and it's sitting behind a graveyard site, and it's like, I think it's like a fast food place on the corner. Like, it's like, and then when you come down, you'll see the Welcome to Compton sign. So it's an elementary school. It's called Caldwell Elementary. Okay, so my mama got me up, got me dressed, and took me to this school, and I'm looking around like, where am I at? Because I knew that was my school. And then all of a sudden, we go in the classroom and stuff, and I realized the lady, as she started teaching the material, I started realizing that I already knew this shit. So I was like, what is this? Come to find out, my mama switched my grade too. So not only did she switch schools, she switched my grade because, see, this is what happened. So when the CPS got involved, or however that unfolded, they used my Auntie K address. Now, my Auntie K is my auntie down there in California that raised me. She raised me because basically, like, somebody was asking me in my chats and in my live, when I be live, like, you know, how was the dynamic of my household and stuff. And really, like, the reason why I was like, I thought it was normal how I was being treated, because as soon as something like bad happened to me or I got whooped or something like that, the next day I was with my Auntie K. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna go get some EE. I went straight to my Auntie K. So long story short, y'all, they use her name, her address, her everything. So when they pull all the school records, everything wrapped back around to my auntie and her house. There was nothing on none of my paperwork that said anything about my mom or my dad. Nothing. The only thing was there was my aunt. So when my mama came to the school, they automatically assumed she was the same lady on the application, but the lady was my aunt on the application, not my mom. So that's how they got away with that for a minute. So got into this school or whatever, and you know, things went from there. So like, after I got registered in the school and when nothing I could do, they pushed me back a grade. And then all of a sudden I remember going to the next grade there, and like after that we wrapped it up quick, and then all of a sudden we left California out of nowhere, like out of a drop of a dime. It was like right after all this stuff happened, my parents moved us to the South, and then that was it. And they never came back to California. They never stepped the foot back in California for nothing, not even to visit. That's how I knew it was something. Cause when we left the state, we hauled ass. We didn't even give our family and friends a good notice time. We got the fuck up out of there. It was fast too.
Okay, so basically the school probably did call defects. Defects was coming out, but what type of excuse was they giving for her not to get taken? Or was they using the auntie address for the defects, and defects was coming in, like looking around, checking everything, making sure stuff was good? But what about the bruising and stuff? Like, defects never questioned they probably got out of it because defects kept coming and they just skipped fucking town. That's what it seemed like. And that's why she was never taken from her mother and them. Like, they skipped town before defects could get deeply involved in the situation. And another thing, why was she going to a school all the way on the other side when the whole time she had one literally up the street is beyond me? But hey.
So the golden question has been, why did my dad treat me like that? Well, let me go ahead and get straight to it, because I'm actively going through a chemical peel, as y'all can see. I'm already starting the peeling process, and my face hurt to talk, but I promised y'all I was going to deliver the last message. So because I keep my word and I like y'all so much and I love y'all so much, even through all my pain right now, I'm going to give y'all this tea. So, my dad told me when I was about 19, 20, 21, he told me that my mama had burnt him. And when she had burnt him, he didn't want to have no intercourse with her whatsoever. So he had shut her down for a while, right? Magically, this one day they was in there and they started kind of talking again. And he noticed that she was a little intoxicated. She was having her fun or whatever. And, that's her, that's his wife, things happen, ups and downs. And he kind of felt weak for her in the moment. So they end up, making up or whatever. And at the end or whatever, he just remembered telling her, for what he told me, for what I understand, they didn't really go all the way or whatever, but they did enough. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was like pre-ejaculation going on, or maybe a pull-out was too slow or something. I'm not sure, but whatever it was, my dad was like, all he know was he don't think that it went all the way because she was drunk, and he had to remind himself halfway through that she had just burnt him, and he didn't know if she was clean or not. They was drinking that night, so he looking like, the alcohol took over his state of mind. So long story short, she got pregnant with me. Literally, he said 2 weeks on the exact dot, she came to him talking about, oh, I'm pregnant. He automatically just felt and knew there was a setup, because he said to himself that he told her, he basically was saying to himself, ain't no way she can't be mine, because you was burnt. We really didn't do it. And what I did to prevent from anything happening, I know I made sure I was straight. So he thought. Long story short, got to the end of the pregnancy. They got ready to have me. And when I came out, he told my mama then, he said, if she's light skinned and pretty, I will claim her. If she's anything outside of that, you on your own. And I came out like high yellow grayish. I was born with jaundice. I had jaundice growing up. So basically I looked like a little white baby for the longest. My melanin skin didn't come in until later. So he said that when I came out, he saw me, he put his name on a birth certificate, and I was his child, and we went on about our lives, and that was it. But my mom she never told me detail for detail about like the stories behind my dad, how he treated her. All she would always tell me was, your dad was very, very mean to me my whole pregnancy. Your dad kept me crying. All I did was cry. And he always made me upset. So when I was real little, like a baby, all I would do was sit on my daddy's chest and rub his beard and cry for hours. It's nothing that he did that would satisfy me, no matter what he tried. And that always was a question in the back of my head. Like, I bet you all of that is why my dad really was set in stone that I wasn't his. But he made a vow to my mama, and he promised her that if I was light skinned and pretty, he would take me as his daughter, and he did. So that's where all that's coming from. So thank you everybody again for sharing my story. Thank you everybody for commenting, being there for me. The stories don't stop here. The journey with us don't stop here. I want to give a shout out to all the ladies that's been helping me along the way. Shout out to Miss Tippy. Shout out to Deshay. Shout out to Miss Laura. Shout out to B Like. Shout out to Miss Bernadette, Miss Antoinette. I got Miss Donna in the building. Shouts out to Miss Virgo girl, Big Jazz. I got Big Jazz in the building. Hey, Big Jazz, if you see this, girl, come back to one of these lives so I can make you a moderator. I couldn't find your profile for nothing. I need you, girl. And then, oh yeah, I got Miss Rach in the building. Miss Rach Johnson. She's been in a few of mine. And Miss Keisha. I hollered at Miss Keisha today. Me and her been talking in the DMs off and on all day. She was asking about my book. Thank you, ladies, so much. This journey just started, y'all. We just got started. So just know it don't end here. We are literally just cranking up the car. And I'm glad everybody in this bitch, because we gonna ride out, baby, okay? Y'all be good. Ooh, that hurt. All right, bye. Ooh.
Okay, so basically it seems like the mother was out there doing her. The daddy slipped up after she burned him. I don't know who told him, because she was burning, she couldn't get pregnant. But hey, he had it stuck in his mind. And then 2 weeks later, she came back like, oh, I'm pregnant. All of this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Sir, why the fuck you didn't get a fucking DNA test if you felt like that motherfucking child was yours? I don't give a fuck what you promised that woman. If it would have caused you not to be so violent to a young lady that had shit to do with the hell you decided to stay with, why you didn't get a DNA test? If you didn't think that little girl was yours, why you just didn't get a test so you could prove whether she yours or not? And if she wasn't, just leave the whole fucking situation instead of choosing as a so-called man to stay in a situation you concerned about, but not only be cruel to her mother, but be cruel to her. Something she had nothing to fucking do with at all. It was between you and her mother. But yet you was beating her every chance you get. You cracked her fucking skull and then ran from Child Protective Service after doing it, all while you was being evil to her mother and her mother choosing you over her daughter. Is crazy word. She should have never spared him at all. I don't feel fucking sorry for him because he chose to accept a child that he was not for sure at all was his. He chose that. Sir, you chose that. That little girl didn't choose for you to beat her ass every chance you got. Or even be here due to the circumstances of her mother. And obviously you, because you fell for the okie doke, laid with the woman, said that you protected yourself, but you not even sure whether you did or didn't because you was too lazy, too sorry, too cheap. I don't know what you was too of, but you wouldn't get a DNA test. And that, sir, you should go to jail. I don't understand why motherfuckers saved him. That mother is disgusting for allowing her daughter to get tortured, traumatized, and not do anything about it. This young lady was loving, protecting, and just quiet on so many levels of something that she shouldn't have no choice or played no part in because it wasn't her fault. All because two lazy ass people wouldn't go through the proper measures. The mother leave a situation because obviously you out doing all this shit. You should have been left and not even been in a relationship at all. And the daddy shouldn't have stayed if all of this was going on. He shouldn't even stayed. But yet both of y'all decided to stay with each other, do this, and then turn around and have a child. You promised to take care of that little girl if she was light skinned, which is crazy word. But you promised to take care of her, but not promise to do right by her. So since you promised this woman to take care of her daughter because she was light skinned, you decided to traumatize that little girl and her mother. And her mother was weak and dumb enough to stay. That's all I'm getting out of this. You guys, drop down in the comment section what you think about this story. Don't forget to hype me up. Like, comment, and subscribe to the creator that made this video. You are strong. You are amazing. And I'm glad you survived this situation because I believe exactly what you said. I feel like they was waiting on you to pass so they could figure out how to cover up this situation because they didn't know the odds of you surviving your skull being cracked. I do believe your mother was trying to help that disgusting person cover up in case you don't wake up out of your sleep. Because everybody fucking know that if a child hit their head or anything, don't allow them to go to sleep because they might not wake up. You literally cracked your skull and they let you go to sleep. I do believe what you thought they was planning on doing is definitely true. If you are returning, I really appreciate you guys. Hype me up, share this video, help me get out into the algorithm so other people can come and check this channel out just like you. And I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.